practice, and this practice of mindfulness and just slowing down, that's what it's about. It's about learning how to move throughout life in our relationships and our careers, when we're by ourselves or we're out in the community, to really do and act from deep within. So yeah, that's it. So we're gonna get started. Thanks for listening to that little rant. So I want y'all to go ahead and find a comfortable seat. So I'm sitting on a pillow, and as always in these past few weeks, I really recommend you have multiple pillows, maybe a blanket or a towel, maybe a block or two, really as many props as you like, so that your body can be really supported and really comfortable in these postures. So go ahead and find a seat. You can be cross-legged, one ankle in front of the other, or you can do like me and find a half lotus or full lotus if your body can easily find that position. And just rest the palms face down in the lap. And either find a soft gaze down the nose towards the earth, or maybe you're in a position where you can close your eyes. And let's together take a big breath in through the nose. And let it go through the mouth. Acknowledging that you've arrived. Do that again. So today's practice is themed around the sacral chakra. In Sanskrit, it's called Svadhisthana. And as a reminder, these chakras that we're working with are energy wheels that rise up the spine. And these exist in our subtle body, so they're not something that can be touched or even felt in the tangible world, but they exist deep within. And each wheel, each energy wheel, there are 7, and they're each associated with different colors and different, they embody different qualities. And so the sacral chakra, it embodies the element of water. And so when we're balanced in this space, it allows us to fluidly transition and just flow throughout life and throughout our practice. And it's located right at the sacrum, or at the center of our sex organs. And so with that, with it being associated with the reproductive organs, when we tune into this space, it allows us to more deeply connect to our highest form of creation and joy and sensuality and passion. I invite you to breathe through those qualities within you. Just naturally in and out of the nose, and you might just notice those qualities subtly expanding with each inhale. And maybe just a softening effect with each exhale. And so the color of the sacral chakra is orange. I like to imagine a sunset orange. So you might begin to visualize an orange wheel rotating right at the sacrum. And just like you did with those qualities of joy and sensuality and passion, you might imagine that orange light growing brighter with each inhale. And then softening the spaces around the hips with the exhale. So inhaling to expand and brighten. Exhaling to soften and release. A chant that we will continue to come back to, associated with the sacral chakra, is VAM, V-A-M. And the energy means to be in the flow, action being I feel. And so you can just repeat, continuously come back in your mind, VAM, VAM, VAM. Since you're muted, you might even practice saying it. And you might notice the sensations that arise as you chant, VAM, VAM, VAM. You can hold that throughout, or you can just come back to it when you feel your mind may have gotten distracted. On your next inhale, we're going to lift our arms out and up. Bring palms together at the top, hands down to heart center. And I invite you to hear the mantra, I am the center of my entire reality. I am the creator of my entire reality. See yourself as the creator. Remembering that you are in control, both for this practice and in your experiences off the mat. Slowly open your eyes if they're closed. Bring the hands down to the ground. Shift the cushion that's underneath you, if there's one, and begin to extend the legs long. And just with hands behind you, begin to rotate through the ankles. Maybe spreading the toes. Maybe taking another big breath in and a sigh out of the mouth. And then we'll bend the knees and place the feet on the ground, feet wide. And we'll just begin to windshield wiper the knees side to side. So looking to guide the inner knee towards the ground, but not so much so that it's going to pinch any area of the knee. So you'll probably feel a stretch throughout the quad, up into the hip flexor. And if this fluid motion feels really sweet through the hips, then just continue this movement. You can also pause for a breath or two on one side and maybe pull the navel into the spine. Noticing the difference in sensation as you hold in through the core. And then move to the other side if you're finding the hold. Good, and then come back to the center. Bring feet together, knees apart, coming into butterfly. And we're gonna let our feet be pretty wide from the hips. And so we're not looking to necessarily open up too much through the hips. We're rather looking to find opening through the back. And so, but we're gonna start with hands at the ankles, knees at the inner thigh. And we're just going to start to guide the knees down. Keep the spine long, just for a few rounds of breath. And you might come back to visualizing that orange light at the base of the spine, so right at the sacrum. And I invite you to find the bottom of your exhale. And on your next breath in, let that orange light rise all the way up the spine to the crown of the head. And on the exhale, let it release back down. So inhaling as the light rises, notice as it expands and brightens. Exhale, notice as the warmth of that light soothes every space that it passes. Another breath in. Hold it at the top. Squeeze the pelvic floor together, navel to spine. Take another little sip in of air. When it's time to exhale, round through the spine, let the palms face forward and up in front of the hands, chin tucks into chest. This is a good time to bring a pillow underneath you if you'd like. And so remember, we're just coming to that first edge, coming to a space where you feel a stretch, most likely from the low back all the way up to the cervical vertebrae. But a stretch that with time, the sensation will dissipate. A stretch that you can breathe fully into. A stretch so that the surrounding muscles don't hold tight to protect, but rather is encouraging to let go. And so I've given you a few options already to focus the mind. You can find the chant if that resonates with you. Vam, vam, vam. You can watch the red light. The orange light get brighter with the inhale. And soothing on the exhale. For these last 5 rounds of breath, see if you can soften any more. If you have a prop underneath you, this is opportunity to remove it if your body is asking for a deeper stretch. And then in your next round of breath, roll up slowly 1 vertebrae at a time. And so the challenge here is to see how slowly you can move. Eventually shoulders and head will rise up. And then once again, we'll come into that hammock pose, extending the legs, and just be still for a moment. Let the feet and legs be soft. And just for a moment, sink into the shoulders. The chin can drop towards the chest, or maybe the head drops back, whatever feels nicer, more comfortable on the neck. Just noticing the sensation of dissipation throughout the hips and back. And then we'll begin to transition into deer pose. And so I'm going to have you bend both knees. Right leg is going to come behind you, right foot behind you. The left foot is going to be in front of you. And for some of you, it's going to take some positioning with that front foot, or the front femur bone, to find the best place for not only the knee, but also the hip socket. So you're definitely going to feel a little bit of compression in that right hip. But just play around with it. So the right knee can be in line with the hip. It can be in front of the hip. The feet can be flexed. They can be relaxed. Just play with it to find the position that makes the most sense for your joints. And then when you find that place, Bring your fingertips in front of you. You can also bring a pillow in front of you and bring your fingertips on that or on the shins if that's better. And we're gonna ride a wave here. So I'm gonna have you take a big breath in, lift the chest up to the sky. And on your exhale, round the back, tuck chin into chest, dive under a wave. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, dive under. Let that breath move you. Eventually, you might find that the spine wants to undulate in other directions. So maybe the hands and spine move towards the left and then the right. So see if you can just move fluidly and naturally above the thinking mind. So there's no need to ask why your body wants to do what it does here. Just accept and breathe into the fact that it does. That it moves and follows the energy lead. The energy that exists from within you. And then next time you rise up, hold there, pull the bandhas in. So squeeze in through the pelvic floor, navel to spine. Gently tuck the chin to the chest. See if you can sip in a little bit more air. When it's time to exhale, let all the hold go, round forward. Again, palms face up, or maybe your palms are on the ground and the spine is rounded there. And so just go to the depth that makes sense for you. And we'll be here for about a minute and a half. So there's plenty of time for you to go deeper into the pose. No need to rush into it or to jump into a position that your body is not ready for. And again, if this feels a little just uncomfortable past your edge in that front hip, move the femur around, maybe move the front foot closer to the body. Noticing if that won't give you a little bit more space to then fold deeper, to let go further. And so when you are in flow with your passion, your purpose, and your sensuality, your sacral chakra is going to be active and vibrant. And you are going to be more capable of literally creating the life that you wish to see. And to live that life that you wish to see. Not for any other purpose or any other reason than that is what your soul is asking for. Take one more breath here and just sink a little bit deeper. On your inhale, slowly rise up one vertebrae at a time. You might just take a breath here at the top. And then we'll begin to shift, keeping the legs as they are, or the knees as they are. We're going to begin to shift that back knee down, back foot, top of the back foot on the mat. So kind of like you're coming into a half pigeon. And then some of us are going to stay here. So we're looking to feel the stretch all along the right hip, particularly the right hip flexor. So some of us will stay here, and this is a perfect edge. Others might bend that back knee, reach for the back foot with the hand. Maybe your edge looks like pulling the top of the foot into the crook of the right elbow. Wherever you are, remember it doesn't matter how far you go, but how it feels through the process. We're going to breathe through this C shape, starting with that right knee. Find the bottom of the exhale. And then on the inhale, breathe in through the right thigh, right hip, right lung, right shoulder, right side of the face, all the way up to the crown of the head. And let it go just the way that it came in. In and out of the nose. You might do that 2 or 3 more times. Checking if there are any spaces in the physical or maybe the mental, emotional body that can soften. And then let go of that breath and see if these last few rounds of breath, your mind can be just as focused, just as present. So feeling every aspect of this experience. No holding back. Use your next exhale to release that back leg. Begin to shift back to center. Extend the legs long again. You might rock out through the knees, rotate through the ankles. I always like to massage around my thighs and knees here, so you can choose that option if you like. And a gentle massage is actually very connected to the theme of sensuality, of feeling, and really of honoring this body that you have. So we're going to go to the other side, bending that right knee with the right foot in front, left foot in the back. Maybe you have to position differently on this side. So we are not symmetrical beings, and that is okay. So take your time to find where you can be most comfortable here. Maybe that pillow comes back in front so you can find some lift. And then we'll dive through the water together. So big breath in, lift the heart and crown of the head up. On the exhale, dive under that wave, round through the spine, chin to chest. Let the breath move you, inhaling to rise, exhaling to dive deep. No judgment. No attachment to any particular form or movement. Just letting be what is. Maybe observing with a bit of curiosity. Next time you rise up, breathe in, hold. Squeeze through the bandhas. So finding those energy locks, so holding the pranic energy within the body. See if you can suck in a little bit more air. When it's time to let go, really let go. Rounding forward in front of the foot. But you might play with here, seeing if the body likes to be more over the knee or over the foot, maybe towards the center. And so the sacral chakra, this orange wheel right at the base of the spine, it's associated with our reproductive organs. So this is the womb area of our being. Whether you are male or female, you have this womb sacred space. The space where you embody your highest form of creativity and passion, and your willingness and ability to grow and develop that which only you can see. So I invite you to see that thing that you are aiming to develop in your life. What is it that you are growing? What is it that's been in the back of your mind or the back of your heart that maybe you haven't quite been able to tap into? Just like you did with the orange hue, I invite you to envision that thing, whether it be a relationship or a business or a quality within yourself. I invite you to see it expanding with each inhale and allowing every part of your being to soften with each exhale. And between now and 3 breaths from now, slowly rise up, stacking one vertebrae on top of the other. And then we'll begin to shift towards the right side, the left leg down. And again, you might notice what happens if you feel any constriction, any pulling around that front knee. Just notice what happens as you flex that right ankle, or then when you let it release. Maybe you place a pillow underneath that right hip if you need a little bit more support. And then you might keep that back leg long and extended, or you might pull in the hand on the top of the foot, maybe on the inside of the elbow. And then same thing, we'll breathe through this C shape. So find the bottom of your exhale. On the inhale, breathe in through the left thigh, left ribs, left shoulder, left side of the face, up to the crown of the head. Let it go for the same amount of time that it came in. So just an easy breath in. Easy breath out. Breathing in through the left side of our body, that side of us where we embody our most feminine qualities. So that side of us that is cool and quiet and reflective and wise. Side of us that turns inward and really listens. Begin to drop that breath, but see if you can continue to feel and hone in on those qualities within you. And then on your next exhale, slowly release. And then shift to the center, extending both legs. Any movement that feels calling to you. You can rock the knees side to side. You can find stillness and just let the sensations of energy melt through you. And then we'll all keep our legs extended and we'll just stretch the back of our legs a little bit. So we're gonna find a metal element, meaning we're not folding through the spine. We're really gonna keep the back long. And so we'll push with palms next to the hips. We'll push away from the ground. We can just straighten the elbows. Let the shoulders melt down the back. Gently tuck the chin to the chest, just enough to lengthen the back of the neck. And some of us will stay here. Others might begin on the exhale to walk the hands forward. So we're keeping our feet flexed, toes up towards the sky, so as to really feel that nice stretch through the backs of the knees and the hamstrings. You can come back to that chant. Vam, vam, vam. Or the mantra, I am the creator of my entire reality. And just breathe in to those qualities within your life that you are currently creating and growing and nurturing. Just 3 more breaths. If you'd like to find the round, go ahead and find it now. We'll slowly rise up and we'll find Gomukhasana, or also known as cow face pose. And so I'm going to start with option 1. Started going into that too quickly. Option 1 would be just to place the right ankle over the left thigh, and you'll feel a stretch through the right hip. Option 2 would be to stack, and this left leg is still extended. Option 2 is to stack the right leg over so that the right knee is over the left knee, left leg extended. Option 3, remember, just coming to that first edge, no pinching around the knees. If option 3 is available to you, you're bending both knees, stacking right knee on top of left, shifting so that you can, as much as possible, have both butt cheeks on the ground. And then we'll bring, if you have both knees bent, we'll bring both index and middle fingers to the big toes. If you only have the right knee bent, you can bring just the left hand to the big toe. And we'll take 5 rounds of breath, keeping the spine long. Breathe into the right side of the hip. So a lot of times when many of us hold emotions, deep-seated emotions in our hips. For one, because our hips physically hold our bodies all day long, but also because that's what the sacral chakra does. It feels. And so for me, I resonate with the sacral chakra a lot. And so my hips are chronically tight. And so what that means when we open through our hips is that it can often release a lot of emotion that we didn't even know we had stored. And so if you find some junk coming up, you can find the 2-count breath, breathing in for 1, 2, and then hold at the top, and then let it go through the mouth. You can even let it go with the mouth in a circle shape and blow that air out like a gust of wind. If it's available to you to round forward, you can do so now. We have about another minute in this posture. What do you need to do to soften? Maybe wiggle the jaw. Check that the space between the eyebrows are soft. If there are any thoughts arising that are not welcome, you might just breathe into them and just acknowledge that they're there without judgment. And just use the breath to put them to the side. Between now and 3 breaths from now, slowly work your way up. And before we go to the other side, we're just going to find a cross-legged posture. So just like we started with, keeping that right leg in front, left knee in the back, palms face down, close the eyes or just a soft gaze down. Seeing if you feel different in this seated position compared to when you first came to the mat. Maybe there's a different sort of awareness or internal awakening that had been lost throughout a day of movement and doing. Maybe there's a subtle sense of knowing from within. A knowing that is beyond the thinking mind, and rather more a part of your natural energy state. Slowly open your eyes if they're closed, and we'll transition to the other side. So right leg under, left leg over. And I am much tighter on this side. I have a IT thing going on my left side, so I've been having to use a foam roller on that regularly. I think it's just from too much sitting throughout the day. So I gotta be gentle on this side. So again, we'll take index and middle finger to the big toes if both knees are bent. And then just find your length and just find softness though. And so you're working a little bit to keep the spine upright. But there's still that quality of calm and relaxation. Breathing into the left hip. And maybe again, breathing in for 1, 2. Out with the circle of the mouth. Use your next exhale to round forward. Remembering that we have these pillows for support if you need it. You can bring a pillow over the top leg, a pillow that might come under the head. And just drop in. Let the body be heavy. Send the breath to the muscles that want to hold, letting them know that they are safe to let go. And I'll share with you a Thich Nhat Hanh meditation, breathing meditation that I've learned recently. As you breathe in, you can say to yourself, breathing in a calm body and mind. Breathing out, I feel my whole body smile. Breathing in, dwelling in the present moment. Breathing out, I know this is the only moment. So again, breathing in a calm body and mind. Breathing out, I feel my whole body smile. Breathing in, dwelling in the present moment. Breathing out, I know this is the only moment. When you're ready, slowly begin to work your way up. And then this time, cross-legged with the left foot in front. So opposite direction of the last time. Same thing, just for a moment. Just notice if anything has changed. Noticing without judgment or attachment. Rather with a sense of open curiosity. Maybe in the stillness, coming back to the vom, vom, vom. And the orange wheel rotating throughout the sacrum, through the center of your sex organs. And then I'll have you open your eyes. And we're going to come up for a moment. So I'm going to demonstrate where we're going. We're going to come into Ustrasana or camel pose using the wall. And so this is a very active posture compared to what we've been doing. But we want to begin to open just slightly through the front of the body. And so if you have a wall available, I invite you to come to it. If not, actually for me, I'm going to use, I have my bed here, so that's what I'm going to use. If not, that's all good. Just watch me for a moment and then I'll have you just, you don't have to use anything. But I'm going to have, if you have a wall, I'm going to have you push your hips into the wall with the hands and the fists at a low back. And we'll just start there by lifting the chest up and finding a bend from the center of the back. So right into the back of the ribs. Now, if you don't have a wall, it's all good. Just keep the hips shifted forward as if you do. Now, for most of us, because this is meant to be a super soft class, we're just going to stay here with the hands at the low back. Some people, if you have back bends regularly in your practice, you can take a pillow above the feet and rest the hands there. Maybe, and my hips have been so tight from all the sitting, so for me it's not that available today. But you could bring your fingertips or maybe the hands completely on the ankles. But we're going to be here for a while, so just come to that first edge. Breathing through the front of the body. And watching that red light rise and expand as it rises from the sex organs all the way up to the crown of the head. And then back down the front of the body, just the way it came in, soothing every space that it passes. Take about 5 more rounds of breath like that. And just invite calm, despite the effort. Invite a letting go. This is a naturally courageous form, opening up through not only the heart space, but also the solar plexus. And so the spaces where we embody our highest form of power and our highest form of love. When you're ready to come out, just come into a seat onto the feet. If that doesn't feel right on the knees, you can take a pillow over the ankles and sit down there. That just gives you a little bit of space. Palms resting down into the lap. And then we'll find together Nadi Shodhana Pranayama, opposite nostril breathing. Index and middle finger is going to come to the third eye in between the eyebrows. We use the right thumb to plug the right nostril, the right ring finger to plug the left nostril. Take a breath in through both. Plug the right with the thumb, exhale through the left. Inhale left. Pause at the top. Exhale right. Pause at the bottom. Inhale right. Pause at the top. Exhale left. Continue that on your own. Purifying and channeling the energy throughout the body by harmonizing the left and right hemispheres of the brain, bringing balance to both our masculine and feminine sides so that we can find a center, a grounding through being equally calm and energized. Next time you breathe in through the left side of the nose, release the hand, and then let it go through both. And then we're going to come onto our back. Feet on the ground. And check to see that you have 2 pillows or 2 blocks readily available to you. I'm going to shift my screen down a little bit, making sure y'all can see me when I'm laying down. And so just for a moment, we're going to recenter the spine. We're just finding a neutral spine by bringing the feet wide and the knees folding into each other, hands resting on the belly. Eyes closed, chin gently tucked to the chest to lengthen the back of the neck. Just come back to that natural, easy breath in and out of the nose. Notice how good it feels to have your spine completely supported by the earth below you. And then I'll have you just shift the hips to the right. So it's a lift and a shift. I'll have you place a pillow in between the knees and another one on the outside of the left thigh as we drop the knees towards the left. Right hand is in line with the shoulder, gaze is up or towards the right. Now, if you come here and you're like, oh my God, I don't feel any stretch at all, we'll release the bottom pillow first. Keep the other pillow in between the thighs to start. Maybe pull the knees up closer to the chest. And then if even still you want more, release that one between the legs. And for me, I always want to go full force, wrapping that top leg all the way around. And if that's you, then find it. So I always like the idea of just moving step by step, especially in these yin-style classes where we're holding the postures for a long time, just to allow space to notice rather than just going into a form habitually. observing the body to see if it's different and to allow it to be different. Honoring that we simply cannot be in the same form, in the same state throughout our lives. And so we nurture our bodies in just the same way that we nurture our mind and spirit, in the same way we nurture our loved ones. We be gentle to ourselves. You might close the eyes if you haven't already, and for these last few rounds of breath, see if you can feel it even more. See if you can be in this one experience even deeper. When you're ready, shift the knees back to the center. Lift the hips up, shift them over to the left. Same thing, start with your props. Unless you just know, so I know I'm not going to want that middle one, or I don't want the one at the bottom. And let's see. Yeah, I still want a little more. But each time we come to the mat, it's an opportunity to explore. It's an opportunity to learn yourself, another layer of you, just a little bit more fully. Breathing in a calm body and mind. Breathing out, I feel my whole body smile. Breathing in, dwelling in the present moment. Breathing out, I know this is the only moment. And you drop into this twist even deeper. Just a few more rounds of breath. And then slowly come back to the center. Hug the knees into the chest. You can rotate the ankles if you like. Maybe find a full happy baby. And you might rock side to side. Sometimes I like to crack my toes here. Little quirk. And then we'll take a big breath in and hold it at the top. When it's time to exhale, let all the limbs drop down. Find your Shavasana. You can choose to place feet together, knees apart if you like. And if you choose that option, I invite you to place something under the knees and so that your hips are supported so that the knees can really be heavy. You might place both hands on the belly or one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. Maybe palms face up by the side. When you find your Shavasana placement, take another full round of breath in. And then let it go with the sigh. And just be here for a moment. Keep your breath soft. Come back to the awareness of that breath. And I invite you to draw your attention to the hidden parts of your body and mind. Draw yourself to the softest and most feminine qualities within you. That part of you that nurtures, that part of you that is deeply sensitive, that part of you that is intuitive and receptive, is spacious and formless. That part of you that flows effortlessly. Feel that part of you. And I have a poem to share by Mary Oliver. It's called Logos. Why worry about the loaves and the fishes? If you say the right words, the wine expands. If you say them with love and the felt ferocity of that love and the felt necessity of that love, the fish explode into many. Imagine him speaking, and don't worry about what is reality or what is plain or what is mysterious. If you were there, it was all those things. If you can imagine it, it is all those things. Eat, drink, be happy. Accept the miracle. Accept to each spoken word spoken with love. Take a big breath in. Let it all the way out. Begin to reconnect to the physical body. Finding gentle movement. Roll over either to the left side for continued calm for your evening, or maybe your right side if you'd like just a little bit of energy. Cradling the head with the arm, knees to the chest. Take a breath into this form of you cradling and nurturing yourself. Be grateful for that love that only you can give you. And then slowly make your way up to a seat. Palms together, heart center. And as we come back to our physical form, to the tangible world, see if you can maintain all of those qualities that you just brought to the surface. Those qualities of softness, those qualities of spaciousness and sensuality. Be with all that and don't be afraid to feel, to really feel, and to really see. Let's take a big breath in together and let it go. The softest light within me sees and bows to and so appreciates that softness that exists within you. Namaste. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Drink plenty of fluids, help whatever came up to just wash through your system, and let yourself stay gentle for the rest of the evening. Maybe get extra hours of sleep.